This is going to be fun. I'm excited because I get to learn firsthand from you, Dan. I'm totally excited. So that's the first announcement I'm going to be making.
Well,
I get
awesome.
to learn from the very own Dan Stewart. How awesome is that?
Today is going to be so great, Junkie. I am so glad to be here with you today.
Oh,
Are you
thank
good? Are you good? Are you doing awesome?
I'm doing awesome. You know, it's you take it as it comes. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, right? So
Yep.
I am
Yeah.
excited about that. Really am.
Well, today's title connects to something you shared with me before the call, which I will not announce because we'll let you keep your news, right?
Yes,
The whole
yes,
point is that conversation is the thing that makes everything better. It is the cure.
yes, it is.
You know?
And yeah, absolutely. And I want to introduce you. I mean,
Okay.
everybody, we're live. We're ready to rock and roll. So please, thank you so much for coming and attending our webinar. It's about starting conversations into contracts. Please tell us where you're from right here in the chat box. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Love to know.
Awesome.
And I want to introduce our very own Dan Stewart. Hello, Dan. Thank you.
Hi.
So much for attending and being a part of LCA Nurture. We've got people all the way from Kansas City, Atlanta. Lovely.
I see Keith and Catherine and Cece and Ben and Ashley and Angie. And this is awesome. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
You're coming all the way from Fairfax. I mean, Boston. Well, thank you, everyone, for attending. And always know that we are recorded, just in case you need to leave a little early. Know that we are recorded on YouTube. So if you do want to go back and listen in, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. And finally, Dan, talk to us. I know that we have a really good post that went out. I heard about that on LCA, about how someone just from a text message converted a deal, which is amazing. Thank you so much. Let's just dive into this because you know what? I want to know more about LCA Nurture, number one. And number two, how to start conversations. How do you go from conversations to contracts?
Great question. So I'm just going to share my screen here. And I'm also going to try my best to keep my eyes peeled on the chat during the session. I actually don't see the box right now. So Jonky, I'll need your help with that.
Absolutely.
We want to keep things interactive. Okay. So as we dig in here, I want to explain the title of this, right? Because I think conversation is something we take for granted. Like, let's just pause for a moment on that and understand that our ability to hold conversations is the key to every single thing we want in life, right? Anybody here married? Anybody in love? Anybody a parent, right? Like, hello, those feelings that you have, those experiences that you have that are special and meaningful, they all take place inside conversation. It's where we fall in love. It's where we raise our children. It's where we negotiate our contracts, right? It's where we negotiate with ourselves. So conversation is absolutely critical to our success at anything. And in real estate, it just couldn't be more important. So what I'm going to show you throughout the day is that if you have a goal, no matter how high it is, you can track back the achievement of that goal to the number of conversations you need to start to achieve it, right? Conversations lead to contracts. It is an absolutely direct path. So I'll introduce myself here a bit more formally. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Dan. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a dude. I'm a dad. I feel really fortunate to get to do what I do every day. 10 years ago, I started this tiny little company called Happy Grasshopper, and we've grown into the leading content messaging platform in real estate. And so Dan, I have a
I have done this with these webinars so many times with you that I just know you. So when you say something like this, it's like, oh, oops, I was supposed to really introduce him, but I just know you.
Not a big deal. No, not a problem. Not a problem at all, right? So, there's something on the screen here that matters, right? And it's invisible. Like anybody can put up their success and, oh, wow, look at them. That's just another person. What I want to share with you that's not on the screen is that the life journey I'm on would not be possible without the support of so many people along the way, right? I was a kid raised in an environment I did not like. I did not have the most supportive family growing up. We had all sorts of issues. We moved all the time. We had lots of dysfunction. And, here I look at a screen like this and I think, wow, I actually did all that. Like, I can't even imagine that those things were possible for me in my youth. And today I know that they're possible. And if they're possible for me, they're possible for you. So I come to this session today with a really clear goal, and it's a big one. Like, I'm here to change your life, literally. Okay.
Amazing.
People did this for me. It's my turn to pay it forward and do this for you. Right. So the goal is to empower you to find transactions now and in the future on demand, right? Whenever you need them, in every market condition that you will ever encounter, period. That's a big ass goal, right?
Yeah. I mean, Dan, congratulations. I mean, you came from what you told us just now to where you are today. And yes, it's a wow. Like, wow. Congratulations, my pal.
Well, I want to be clear about that, Junkie. Thank you. I appreciate your congratulations. But my success doesn't matter, right? It doesn't. I'm not telling that to impress anybody. I'm telling you that to impress upon you that if you really embrace the truth that relationships, the conversations that you have within them can take you anywhere, like that completely shifts the perspective of what's possible for you. It instantly gets much, 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 much bigger. And yet there are a bunch of challenges that jump in the way, right? So, let's ask the audience, right? You've heard phrases throughout the year, like, have you heard the phrase, your database is your business, right? If you have heard that phrase, give me a big yes in the chat, right? I know that you have. If you've heard the fortune is in the follow-up, right? Give me a big yes in the chat. I know that you've heard those things. And I also know that many of you are not really capitalizing on your database. There's a lot of things that are stopping you from doing that. And the things that are in the way consist of really three big parts, right? We've got organization, automation, and then content creation. So, Junkie, I want to break this down with you a little bit.
Okay.
Like, on a scale of 0 to 10, how organized do you feel your database is?
Scale of 1 to 10, 10, I would say. 5, I would say.
5. Okay. All right. So part of what we need to do is simplify this for everyone. And by the way, go ahead and enter this in the chat. If you're on Facebook, comment down below. On a scale of 0 to 10, how organized is your database? Right? Now, when I ask that question with a live audience, and I can't wait to get back on an airplane and go see the rest of this country, people generally laugh at that question. They feel like, oh my God, my database is a wreck. I have contacts here, there, and everywhere. They're in your phone, your CRM, your MLS, your email. They're spread all over a bunch of handwritten open house sign-in sheets. Like, it gets to be a big mess. So we got to tame that, right? We have to recognize there are only two kinds of people. They know us or they don't. So what I'm going to share with you today is strictly for that portion of your database that knows you. Okay. So, Junkie, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. About how many people do you have in your database?
5,000.
5,000. Okay. Now let's imagine you were in a giant supermarket and all 5,000 of those people were in there with you. As you're walking up and down the aisles, about how many of those people do you think would be like, Junkie, how are you?
True. I don't know. I wouldn't even, yeah.
It's a much, much smaller number.
I would say maybe 70, 80%, maybe.
Really? That high? That's interesting.
And
what we see.
That is because obviously my picture is out there. I'm on radio. I mean, it's a different, I'm different.
Yeah. Well, so fame, publicity, marketing, it does have an impact here. But, for you, we'd go a step deeper still. We'd say, okay, how many of those people know you? And how many of those people do you actually like? Right? Because that then comes to a much smaller number of those people you actually know and like, right?
Right.
So what we're talking about when we're paring down the database is getting to this core group of people that we want to regularly create conversations with. It's that core group of people that you have a really good relationship with. They're the people who are the rocket fuel towards your goals. They'll absolutely help you do that. Now, the next two things here, automation and content creation. One of the things I love about lab code agents is that this group of people tends to be a bit more tech forward than a chunk of the rest of the world, right? So it's important to be leveraging technology today. And yet we also have to recognize that even if we've got great tech, great automation, if we don't have great content, it all falls apart. Did you know Samsung makes a refrigerator that can send a text today? Like, how ridiculous is that? It's a ridiculous thing. And yet it's a great illustration that sending a message is easy, but sending a message that people will respond to is really, really hard. And that's the other thing that stops people from having success with their database, right? You have to figure out what to say. What am I going to say? Like, here we are most of the way through March. What do I have to say right now to the world? Like, most people arrive at that moment where they're sitting in front of their keyboard and they're like, I need a result. What do I say in order to get that result? And they're completely unaware that there's a disconnect here. That if you show up as someone who just cares about people, who wants to maintain a relationship with them without always trying to sell, you don't really have to worry about the sales. They're referring you constantly. And I'll show you proof of that here in a few moments. Now, knowing what to say is a challenge for sure. And also knowing who to say it to. Because like Junkie will use you again as a great example here. That entire database of 5,000 people, it's really important to have a messaging strategy for all of them. And yet with LCA Nurture, the only people we're addressing are those you're closest to, right? Those who really know who you are and that you also like. They're the people who should be in here. So now we have all these components put together and there's still one thing that's missing. And it's, well, when and how often do you send your messages, right? So today, among my goals is to solve all these problems for you, right? And I want you to really think about this, and if you had the ability to do what I mentioned early on, if you could absolutely create transactions on demand, what would that mean for you? Like, what would your life look like? What would be possible? It's amazing to think of what could really be possible. And now, rather than just tell you this is possible, I want to show you exactly what you should do in order to create it. Would that be cool? If that would be cool, I want to see it in the chat. Give us a big yes. Let me know that that's coming in here. So, Jonky, you mentioned a post in Lab Code Agents recently. I posted this just a few days ago. And this is pretty awesome. This is a Lab Coats member who signed up for LCA Nurture, and they sent one of our quarterly lead harvesting texts. Okay, so quarterly lead harvesting text is exactly what it sounds like. It's a text message that you send out once a quarter. And in this case, they sent this text out and it turned into 500 grand in volume. So I thought, well, hey, who wants this message? I posted this in the group, and at the time I took this screenshot yesterday, we had 944 comments. I wouldn't be surprised if we're at 1,000 already. That post is still blowing up. So if you entered your email address there, I have sent you exactly what that post is, and I'm going to share it with you later in today's session. Now, next thing I'll share with you, how'd you like to have this kind of result, right? This is a member who sent one of our emails. Now, the frequency of our emails is once every 3 weeks. So 17 times a year, we send a non-salesy email, not about real estate. It's about something interesting that's happening now. And in this case, the replies our client got brought in between $1.5 and $2 million in turnarounds, right? So this is a lot different. LCA Nurture is a lot different than other systems you may have used.
This is where I say, wow. I mean, with this comment and the other post that I saw, that's what everyone is here for. It's like, what made that happen? What is it about LCA Nurture that we can learn?
Yep.
Exactly. This is
there's so much, right? There's so much here. And I know that a lot of people have tried a lot of things. And you know what I hear all the time from Agents Junkie? They say, it's a new marketing thing, so I have to do it for at least 6 months to figure out if it works. Yeah. And that is just not true with LCA Nurture. Here, for example, we have a member who, they're a little skeptical. They've loaded just 3 contacts to test it. They sent their first email, they got their first reply in just 12 minutes.
Wow.
Like, how many of you have been working on an email newsletter for years and you don't get replies? You get a poor open rate. And here we're telling you should expect replies to come almost instantly, and they will, right? So here's a cool thing that happened just yesterday. I'll share this with you. Jolenta Averill is a member of ours. She's also a client of Real Estate Webmasters, and this is from their internal forum. So she's welcoming me to the forum. She says she can't wait to try out some of our amazing one-liners, right? All these one-liners are built into LCA Nurture. So I asked her if she sent the one I mentioned on the webinar the other day, and she said, yes, I sent it to a bunch of people. The responses have been rolling in almost as fast as I can reply to them. For anyone reading this who's interested, take Dan's advice and send the message. Okay. So do I have your attention yet? Like, are you ready to send this content?
Seriously, you have my attention, but for everyone that's here, you don't have their attention. Okay.
Well, you know what? If you don't pay attention to your sphere and your past clients, your competition will, right? The way to make yourself immune from competition is to shore up relationships with the people in your database. And, most of the country right now is experiencing market conditions where inventory is super tight. It's so hard to get a listing today. Buyers agents are frustrated because they keep showing properties and writing contracts, but they can't get anything sold. So, if you've shored up relationships with your past clients and your database, you are in a much better position to thrive in these market conditions than if you're just hoping the universe will take care of you, right? So it is time to get excited because, 10 years in, I know exactly the kind of messaging you should send to get results. And that messaging is included in LCA Nurture. Like, you folks who are here today that haven't done this yet, you're going to sign up, you're going to send messages, and then we're going to be able to feature you in statements like this. Like, these are all true stories from members around the country who are used to seeing the kind of results that we produce, right? So what we've done at Happy Grasshopper is take all of this experience, all of the data, we've taken all of those smarts, we've combined it with the genius of Tristan and Nick, and we've baked it into our service called LCA Nurture, right? So LCA Nurture is a software app. Software is a service tool, right? You log in online just like any of a zillion other systems today. And what's really special and different about this is our writing staff puts amazing content in the system for you once every 2 weeks. So you always have fresh, up to the moment messaging to share with the people who are most important, your past clients, your sphere, your close contacts, right? So specifically what this does is it delivers email, text, and ringless voicemail drops. And the cadence there is really sneaky effective. I'm going to break this down for you. So we start with 17 emails. Think of that like the basic drum beat, right? That is the rhythm. Boom, once every 3 weeks, your contacts and close sphere are going to get an email that looks like you sat down to write it. The replies are going to go right back to your regular inbox, right? And then we're going to layer over the top of that with text messaging and ringless voicemail drops, right? Now, the text and the voicemail drops work as kind of a 1-2 punch. So we're going to send those out in conjunction with each other up to 12 times per year. Now, here's the breakdown. Their birthday, their transaction anniversary, 4 quarterly lead harvesting messages, and then up to 6 holidays of your choice, right? So, John Key, I want you to imagine it's your birthday a week from today, right?
Huh.
So we know each other. If I send you a text message, since we know each other, I'm going to expect that you engage with that, right? So if I send a nice short text from our system and it says, hey, John Key, am I the first to wish you a happy birthday? Right? Like celebration emoji all over the place. You're going to reply. You're going to engage with that message. We're going to have a nice little conversation there about your birthday. And we're going to be a week ahead of the big crush on Facebook. Right?
And you know what? It's all about keeping in touch. You're so right. While I'm taking my notes down, Dan, it's about what to say, know who to say it to, and how many times to say it, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It is knowing the cadence and it's knowing what to say in the cadence.
In the
So
box, you have that relationship already built in. So all you're doing is nurturing that.
yep, you're nurturing it. You're deepening it. So, think about this. It's your birthday. You get the text a week early. Now it's the day of your birthday. The whole world is congratulating you on Facebook, and you're getting a ringless voicemail from me, right? So your phone didn't ring. You look down, it says missed call from Dan. Dan left me a voicemail, and then it's me wishing you a happy birthday, right? So the way our system is set up, you spend a few minutes recording your voicemails, approving your text messages, loading your contacts, and then throughout the year, we keep you right on schedule. We notify you when it's time to send a new message. You click the link in the notification, and here you are. Boom. This is all fresh content that's live in the system right now. These email messages, you'll notice they're all rated. So you get to decide what these ratings are. We want to collect your feedback about the messages. And it's normal that you'll love some and you won't love others. That's totally fine. You should choose the message you like the best to send to the people who know you. And of course, you always have the ability to edit the message and to make it your own. So when the email goes out, it looks like this, right? So here we have a message. Subject line is Blockbuster finally pivots. It reads, hi, Jonky. Did you see this? Blockbuster's last store is now an Airbnb rental. Ha! They've set it up with 90s furniture, TV, VCR, and all the movies you can watch for $4 a night. And call me crazy, but I actually love this. Kind of makes me wish they'd paid more attention to Netflix and pivoted sooner. Speaking of real estate changes, do you know anyone who's thinking of moving? Or even someone we could convince to move if we got enough money for their home? Thanks, Randall and Vanessa. Right? So what do you think of that message, Jonky? Would you send that message?
Absolutely, because it's giving them something fun to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're also saying at the end of the day, by the way, you know someone, right? So
that by the way, at the end, that's what we call a call to conversation.
exactly.
That's how we turn it back to real estate and we get these people to engage.
Right.
So yeah, this is the message I showed you earlier that turned into $1.5 to $2 million in turnarounds for Randall. Like a simple little email about Blockbuster produced those results. Okay. Now I'll show you the data. Oh, go ahead.
One other thing I want to let everyone know is that LCA has teamed up with Happy Grasshopper, and that's how we became, LCA Nurture. So definitely click on the link that is on, on the chat box to get a special pricing. It's a launch.
Yeah, you definitely want to do that.
For code agents. So I just want to make that announcement real quickly. So go for it, Dan.
Thanks, Jonky. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, one of the things that needs to be measured is how effective the content is. Like it's obviously effective when you get these kind of replies that say, come list me. But what about open rates? For this actual message, there's a 53% open rate.
Wow.
Right? That's really high. Average open rate in real estate is 14%.
Mhm.
So, this is tremendous. And when Randall sent that message, this is what he posted in his company Facebook group. This morning, I sent out the blockbuster email Dan talked about in the meeting the other day. Just like I'm talking about it now, folks. This is a message you should screenshot and send. Within 90 minutes, I received this email back from a client that closed in 2013. I figured I'd share so you can see how easy the flow is. So here's that email back. Now, I've redacted it to keep some info private here. First thing I'll point out in the second sentence, your last sentence got me, right? That's that call to conversation that's triggering this person to think this way.
Right.
And what do they say? Are you able to give me an idea of what we could list for? Like, how awesome would it be for you to have this reply today?
That's amazing.
That would be truly, truly tremendous, right? So a little while later, the same day, he got another response. Okay. So 2 replies from this one message. Now that turned into, his explanation that if he gets both of these and he gets both sides of both of those, that's, potentially $60,000 in commission income, right? And LCA Nurture is so value priced, it's ridiculous. It's only $470 for the year. So, I mean, come on, what do you have to lose? There's so much to gain here.
The reason why I say wow is I'm a total outsider looking inside, just like everyone else that's on this webinar, listening to all these, conversions at a very high level.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that kind of an amount is absurdly low, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like the real estate market is so varied. I think about that younger version of myself who needed all the help he could get to where he is. I don't want to charge an arm and a leg for this. I want to make it an easy decision for everybody.
Right.
That's why we set it up this way.
Very easy, right here, right now. I mean, again, it's right there, the link.
Yeah, definitely jump on and take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
Now, one of the things that I want to point out is that we get these kind of replies from our members all the time. Like all the time, we're getting these messages that come in. Here's one we got Friday. This is what prompted that post in Lab Code Agents that has almost 1,000 comments on it, right? Listen to what he's saying here. I really enjoy listening via YouTube and Lab Code Agents. And for those of you who are here, I hope you do too. We've been enjoying success with 30 to 50% open rates on our emails. We sent our first mass text using the It's Been a While script. We got one listing that just went live today, already received 2 over asking offers, right? There will be a buy associated with it after we close, which will result in approximately $500,000 in volume. And we were able to refer a client to a commercial agent who's looking for land to build an RV and boat storage facility. Like, how awesome is that, right? Now, here's maybe the best part. We had such an overwhelming response, it took me a day and a half to respond back and forth. This is key comment. You've got over 5,000 contacts in your database, Junkie. They should not all be here because you're going to get a massive amount of replies. Yeah. So, 250 contacts is the maximum number of contacts we allow you to have in LCA Nurture, because otherwise you're just going to be too snowed under with response. This is very personal, intimate communication. It's not the mass market messaging that so much other of our marketing is focused on. So let's go deeper on this text. I want to show you what this looks like inside LCA Nurture. So remember, once a quarter, we're going to remind you to send these messages, and you'll preview what's available and select a message. This is the one that they sent, right? So if I send it to you, Junkie, it would say, "It's Dan, how are you? It's been a little while since we touched base. Is there anything I can help you with?" I am showing you the simplicity of this message.
Straightforward.
I mean,
straightforward, right?
Yeah, we've got to recognize that it's not about writing Shakespeare.
Exactly.
That's not the point here. It's a text message. The idea is to start a conversation. If we know each other and I send you that, you're socially obligated to reply.
Mhm.
You know, I'm reaching out to ask how you are and to ask if I can help with anything. You know, what kind of person would you be if you didn't respond to that?
Exactly.
So now that we're in conversation, now that that reply is happening, then it's time to ask that next really smart question. Because what are they going to say, right? They're going to say, "Oh, I'm doing good. How are you? How have you been?" And that's when you can say, "Well, you know, the market is absolutely on fire. We're really looking for people that are ready to move. Do you know anyone who would consider selling their home?" Right? That's how you're harvesting these leads using these messages. So we start the conversation here with a simple text, then you continue the conversation to harvest the leads. Okay, really straightforward.
It's very simple. That's what I love about the system, by the way, Dan.
Thank
It's
you.
just very simple. It's straight to the point. You don't have to, and there are training videos that are offered as well.
Yep,
So it's very simple.
everything is in there. So I mentioned earlier about how the text and the voicemail drops work together like a 1-2 punch. So here's the voicemail side of the same quarterly lead harvesting message. And you'll notice there's a note here. When you're recording these voicemail messages, do your best not to make it sound like a radio show, right? It should just sound like you picked up the phone to leave a message for a friend. So all you have to do is click the record voicemail drop button. You record it, our system saves it, and then boom, they're put in the queue. We remind you when it's time to approve delivery. So I'll give
And
you an example.
and you have the script right there.
The script is right there. Yeah. So a word about scripts. Okay. This is not a magic spell. Okay. It's a suggested guideline. So when you click record, don't feel like you have to get all the words perfectly. Make it your own. I'll give you an example. I'll press record. Hey, it's me, Dan. Just calling. I wanted to reach out, see how you guys are. I've been thinking about you. I hope you're well. I'd love to catch up. Let's have a chat. I want to hear an update. So give me a call. Let's talk soon. I know you've got my number. It's 727-533-5175. Thanks. Talk soon. Click. Right. So that's easy. I didn't say Jonky's name in that message. And yet when she receives it, it's going to feel like that message came directly to her specifically. Right. So we guide you there to use these things and make it really easy. So I'm going to show you more specifically what you need to do next, right? Here's how the whole system works. You need to go and sign up for your account. That is step one. So go to happygrasshopper.com/meet LCA nurture. And that link is in the chat for you. So just click there, right? So you sign up for your account, then you load your contacts and you send your first message, not rocket science. There's a wizard that guides you through how to set everything up. And I have a great staff. If for some reason you're stuck, we'll support you and make sure you get set up the right way. Now, when you do send, you are going to get those replies. So make sure you're ready to actually engage and have those conversations. The value in what we do for you is not in creating the messages or in creating the system to send the messages. It's in the conversations you get to have because of the messages, right? That's the critical thing.
Right.
So that's literally all you have to do to get started. And then we'll notify you when it's time for your next send, right? So easy peasy, piece of cake.
Yes.
Pizza cake there.
Yeah, and the fact that you notify when the next mailer will go out or the email, the voicemail, whatever you set up over there, then you're notified and you're told this is what's going to happen next. So you can possibly change or edit that as well a little.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a member who told me recently that he never schedules an email to go out on Friday because it ruins his Friday afternoon golf game.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't want to get all the replies while he's on the golf course. So I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
Now,
Sure
if you're watching this,
focus on what you're doing at that particular time. So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to make time to have those replies. So, I think it would be natural for you to have some question marks about whether or not this makes sense. Is a whopping $470 a year worth it? So let me lay out the value prop here for you. NAR tells us the average commission per side is about $6,000. And I know in many markets that's absurdly low, right? I get it, but let's just use that number to be conservative here. So
So,
our members tell us, oh, go ahead.
Dan, I have a question from Courtney. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
my lead generation is in Messenger. Can you send
Okay.
text through Messenger?
You can absolutely copy the content and send it out through Messenger. That's fine. Yep, you can do that. We don't send for you through Messenger for clarity. We've worked on that at various points in the past, but Facebook changes their API so frequently. It's like literally as soon as we get it coded, they change it and it doesn't work anymore.
Right. And
So,
then Lisa has a question here for you too, Dan.
mhm.
Does this have an option for mailers and cards too?
Yes, absolutely. We have this super cool handwritten card function inside the app. So there are dozens and dozens of cards and fonts and messages you can choose from. And they go out with an addressed, like handwritten card, handwritten envelope with a first class US postage stamp.
How
So
amazing is that,
those
guys?
are cool.
A
Yeah.
one-stop shop for everything, especially for your your close personal sphere of influence, as well as your past clients. I love the fact that you guys top it off to 250 contacts only, which is
Yeah,
great.
we want to keep this simple. Like if you loaded your entire database here, it's confusing to know who should be there and who shouldn't be.
Exactly.
So, we're saying no, if you're messaging them from LCA Nurture, there's someone you know and you like, period.
Exactly.
Right? So there's an interesting piece of data I want to share here. We track everything in our system. We've been doing this for 10 years, tracking everything. And we know that from this communication plan, there are approximately 12 transactions per year for every 100 contacts in your database you send this content to, right? So, if you've got 250 in there, that could be about 30 transactions per year that you can pull from this, which is crazy.
Right.
It's absolutely nuts. And that is worth a lot more than the investment of just $47 to start and $470 for the whole year, right? Obviously. So for clarity, just to like wrap this up here, that is all 41 touches. So each contact gets those 41 touches over the course of the year. And if you break that down on a cost per contact, that's less than $2 per contact per year. I mean, would you spend less than $2 to stay in touch with someone you like? I'd hope so. Hope so.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Of course you would.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. I would. It's all about, we always say, and everyone, as realtors, we all know that we need to stay in touch with our past clients, our sphere of influence, because those are people that know and like you.
Yeah.
And, in the course of our real estate careers, I mean, we get so inundated with new leads and focused on our listings that we get through various different sources. We forget our closest clients, right? Or our closest friends, or closest family. And this is the way. I mean, I've seen so many stories. My friend went and used another realtor. My past client went and used another realtor. Well, this is one way that you can set up an automated system to where that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Does anything hurt worse than driving home and seeing some other agent's sign in front of your neighbor's house? Like, especially in this market, right? So if you don't communicate with the people you care about, you better believe that somebody else is. So yeah, you really need to shore that up. Now, part of our commitment to the LCA community means providing, even more value than just the messaging themselves, right? So everybody who chooses the annual plan also gets Revaluate free.
Wow. Tell us
do you know about Revaluate?
No, I don't. And I'm excited to know right now.
Okay. So Revaluate is my friend Chris Drayer's company. Love this guy. Chris, if you're watching, hello. Great job with Revaluate. So they crunch data. So every contact that you load in, their email, their physical address, they have, they've built a software program that's searching for the 4 Ds. diamonds, diapers, divorce, and death, right? Because those 4 Ds trigger a move. That's what triggers a home sale. So right inside your LCA Nurture account, we'll notify you which of your contacts are highly likely to move. Okay. How helpful is that to know?
Wow.
So, here are 2 of my contacts that are considered highly likely to move. So any score, it's from 0 to 100, anybody above 80 is considered highly likely to move within the next 6 months. So that's all right there, bam,
Wow.
smack in front of you, right inside your LCA Nurture account.
And I just made the note of that, like anything over 80. But the beauty of this is that they actually give you that scoring,
Mm-hmm.
telling you, hey, it's a hand raiser. I'm here. I'm ready. Or this has happened. What is the change? And this
Yeah.
is the change. I mean, guys, again, the link is right there, for Happy Grasshopper. I know that Courtney said thank you. My contacts are either email, phone numbers, and messengers, or messenger, but I don't have all 3 of them in my contacts. So am I able to differentiate who gets what?
You are. You absolutely are. It also, though, would be a good time to get all of that information. So, you can send, like, one of my favorite strategies for new members who don't have the database worked out is to just send a short message. Hey, it's me working on my database. Want to update my info for you. You'll be surprised how many people will respond to that. For my clients like Jonky with these monster databases, a lot of times there's, a third party who's making those calls, a VA on the other side of the world. You hire them just for that project on Upwork, and they whack right through your database and get all that information collected for you. So there are lots of ways to complete that information. From where I sit, there's so much value in knowing what's going on with the people in your database. Revaluate is such a great tool to have integrated. You definitely want to make sure you can get as much contact info in there about them as possible. Now, I'm going to show you this other super cool thing that we're also doing, right? So again, this is available for people choosing the annual plan. You will also get a digital business card along with your account that you can use free. So I'm going to show you what a digital business card is, right? So we have these templates built in the back end. You just click on digital business card. It will ask you what information you want to include, what picture you want in the background, what overlay you want, if any, right? So that information is there for you. And then what it looks like, and I'm going to stop my screen share here for a moment just so I can show you. We're going to take a peek at this on my phone. So you end up with an icon on your phone. And when you click it, it pulls up your digital business card site. I'm going to turn down my screen brightness. Maybe that'll show up a little better.
I was just about to. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's imagine you're out and about and you're meeting someone. You have a nice little chat. Maybe you're in line somewhere. Who knows? Well, that's when it's time to say, I'd really like to keep in touch with you. Would it be all right if we keep in touch? And what are they going to say? Of course.
Yeah.
And then you both reach for your phones to do the contact information exchange. You've all done that. Well, now you just click this little button and a QR code pops up. So you say, just open your camera and point it here. And those of you who are watching, if you do this now, it's going to pull up this site for you, right? And from this site, you click contact info. You can save me. You can email me, call me, text me, WhatsApp me. You got links to my social media. And then, of course, all I have to do is click the plus button and I can add you, right? That person goes right inside your LCA Nurture account. So just like you said, hey, would it be okay if I keep in touch? They'll
Right.
be included in your next messaging cycle.
And
right?
that is the beauty of Happy Grasshopper. Actually, I'm totally excited and psyched to really dive into, I haven't added my contacts in there. So my admin is definitely going to work on that today. But I'm so glad that we have this time to talk about this. Hey guys, I know Courtney said yes, definitely need to do this. So thank you, Courtney. But
Awesome.
again, the link is right there, happygrasshopper.com/meet LCA Nurture. It's
Yeah.
that. So
I see there are some questions here. Now I can see the chat with the screen share off. I'm going to turn my screen share back on and show you guys some answers here to how cool this is. Would that be all right?
Yes, please do.
All right, let's do this.
I think some of them we did answer, I believe.
So I want to show you guys how the handwritten card function works. This, by the way, this is the dashboard. So it's showing me what my upcoming messaging opportunities are here in the month of March. When I get started, there's a nice tour that runs to show me how to get everything set up. I can restart that tour just like I did anytime I choose. I'm going to jump over here to the handwritten cards area. So we have some cards that are saved for you down below. And then you can also choose to create a card. So we'll just do that here now. There are dozens that are in here, and you get to choose the category. So I'll click real estate because why not, right?
Why not? We are a real estate group here.
Is there a design you like, Junkie?
I love the doors.
The doors. Let's go with the doors then. So you'll see these cards, they all look like you went to Hallmark and you bought them, right? It doesn't say Lab Coat Agents. It doesn't say Happy Grasshopper on it. It's your card, not ours. So when we click in this message box, anything we write here on the inside is what shows up inside the card. Okay, so
this is what
I'm so happy. Whoops, happy we spoke today. You're awesome.
Thank you for your time.
Looking forward to helping you sell your home. All my best. Okay, so I've just written this real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to call your attention. Look at these P's in happy, right? And the O's in looking.
I love
they don't match each other.
Yeah.
So it looks like a human being's actually writing this card when it's really a robot holding a pen.
Yeah.
Okay. There are dozens of different fonts here. I'll show you the one I like to use. It's this one. And this is what the cards look like when they actually arrive. So how cool is that? It looks like you actually sat down to write a message.
Wow.
So really fun.
Really, really cool. I love the platform. I love, what LCA Nurture is doing for us and what LCA, it's all about how this came into being with the Lab Coat Agents and Tristan, our buddy Tristan and Nick, and just amazing people to be around with. And now LCA Nurture with all their knowledge and their brains and, all their dialogues and all that good stuff written into and embedded into LCA Nurture. I love that part because, again, we're always asking, hey, how are you doing this? What are your numbers? This, that, and the other. Conversations with realtors among realtors is just amazing to know, hey, how did you get there? How did you close 20 million, 50 million, 100 million? We always want to know. We always want to learn. Well, here's another system that was, really, really, and this is LCA Nurture that was brain picked and chosen by so many among us, Tristan and Nick being with you, Dan, obviously, and creating this phenomenal system and tool for us to leverage our business with past clients and sphere of influence, which is amazing. So thank you so much for showing the inside of it.
Yeah, you are so welcome. You absolutely are.
Yeah.
Now, I know we're all members of Lab Coat Agents together. So if you have any questions, you can tag me there. If you were on that big post and you requested that we email you that script, you should have already received it. If you're doing that now, we'll get that out for you shortly.
And a special launch pricing, you guys.
Ding, ding, ding.
Come on, it can't be better than this. Imagine this, you're spending $470, but in return, you're making, X amount just with your return of investment. Think about that. So
well, even if you only got one deal,
exactly,
just one deal over the whole year,
exactly,
at just $6,000 in commission,
yes,
that's an ROI of 1,170%.
And it is automated, right, Dan? The beauty of it is that you're not, and we always say in real estate, leverage with your systems. Yep. And this is how we, how we get to it. I know that Leon asked, how do we get that script?
Yeah, so all the scripts are included inside LCA Nurture. So just create your account. You can grab that. And yeah, I see some people asking about the Facebook post. Let me do this. I'll put my screen share back on
Perfect.
and I'll show you guys what we're talking about here. So let's see here. Okay. I'm just pulling the post up here as I share my screen. Want to be in the right spot. Okay.
You know, yeah, this is the post that we're talking about, and a lot of questions. I'm going through the screen, a lot of through the chat box, and a lot of questions are coming in about the Facebook post that you're referring to. So,
well, this is it right here. So this is a member of Lab Code Agents who subscribed to our service and sent our quarterly lead harvesting text using the "It's been a while" script, right? So they sent this message out and it produced that great reply. And of course, we talked about that a bit during.
Dan, we're not seeing that script anymore. I think we're seeing your entire screen here right now.
You're seeing my screen. I'm going to pull that script up. I'm just getting to the right slide.
Got it.
On the slide deck, and I'll get that out here for you.
Okay. There we go.
Are you seeing the slide deck now?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back. There it was.
There.
So here's the script.
A few of them, yes.
It's Dan. How are you? It's been a little while since we touched base. Is there anything I can help you with? Right? It's that simple. What you need is a way of organizing your contacts, getting prompted at the right time to send the right message, having content that is proven to actually produce results. Right, and that's exactly what's all built in here right to this system. So,
and again, guys, sign up right there. You know, we've got the LCA link right there. You'll definitely have access to all these messages, all these text messages, voicemails. You have to build your voicemail, but the scripts, you know, all of that, that'll go out to your databases.
Yep. It's all right there. It's all right there. So I'll look forward to welcoming a bunch of new LCA Nurture members here after this webinar. And you can count, like, we want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your success stories. We will blow you up and make you famous in Lab Code Agents. And we'll share your success stories here on future webinars.
And Leon, thank you for that compliment. Leon says simple but great. Yes, it is so simple. I am actually the test bunny right here. So I am trying it out and I am beginning to love it. And I'll be one of the biggest fans out there for LCA Nurture, because I know that whatever Tristan and Nick put together really, and with Jan, obviously, really makes a difference, I know, in my business. So I'm really looking, you know, forward to building it out. Thank you so much for your time, Dan. And again, you guys, the link is right there. Please do, you know, click on it and sign up, and you'll see what happens to your business.
Awesome.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Jonky. Thanks, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
You too, Dan. Bye-bye.
Let's go sell some houses.
Now let's do it. Bye.